Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. The wait is over. It's time for Super Bowl 53. The biggest day of the year on the NFL calendar has arrived, and what a matchup we have in store for us. This promises to be an incredible contest as these teams do battle for the Lombardi Trophy. It's the Colts going up against the Giants. So the time has come. Let's send you out to the stadium and join the two men that will have the Super Bowl call. Here are Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
Larry, we come to you from a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls with an 11th on the way in 2020. Yes, we are in beautiful Miami, Florida. We count down to kickoff in what should be an epic one here between the Indianapolis Colts and the New York Giants. Luck on first down. Completes it to Moncrief, left side. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. And they talked about how important the passing game was going to be against that defensive look. Good job there going to the air for the first down.
It's all about preparation. It's all about planning. And then it's about execution. So they put it all together in practice. Okay, this is what we think we're going to see. This is how they get to it. And then when the game comes, read it and attack it.
The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. They'll run with Drake. A gain of 3, second down. Here's the offense, and if you're the defense, Charles, you really have to focus on that guy that's highlighted on the screen.
You're talking about pure speed. T.Y. Hilton can get down the middle of the field and really stretch a defense.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here. Here's Luck now on second down. Being chased out left. Philip Dorsett holds it in. Philip Dorsett by himself. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Philip Dorsett, 61 yards. And the Colts are going to take a first quarter lead. And this is good to make it 7-0 Indy. Now after the touchdown, here's Pat McAfee to kick. Set to return. Here's Raheem Mostert. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. They come out here in the eye. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. This offense has a lot to account for, but at the top of the defense's list is OBJ.
I'm not sure how you really game plan for him because no matter what you do, he finds a way to uncover himself downfield. And the speed gets it from his mom, a former sprinter at LSU.
On second down, here's Manning. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
One of the selling points of the end route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot, able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
They'll try a little trickery here on the end around. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And here's a look at the defensive unit that hopes to halt this offense today. So what will they do? On the ground, through the air, let's see. 2nd and 9. Manning to throw on second down. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Sterling Shepard. Third down here.
There are a good number of coaches that any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
And on third down, the Colts have added an extra defensive back.
Flooding the passing lanes.
To throw, it's Manning. And the third down pass falls incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
Man, it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. On first down, it's Luck. Under pressure, and down he goes. Luck is sacked. Olivier Vernon in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. Second down, here's Luck. Caught on the right side by Dorsett. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? So a 3rd and 9 and 6 defensive backs out there in the dime.
Patrolling the passing lanes.
Throwing is Luck. And that is incomplete. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver. And that brings up 4th down. On 4th down, here's Pat McAfee to kick it away. Taken from just outside the 30. It's a 45-yard punt, but a decent return there of 9 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. Coach hinted to us that we may see some old power football here in this game. We got a taste of it on that first down run.
I love how he hinted it to us, and then when we were watching practice, we were watching what they call inside drill with the offensive and defensive line, and they kept putting more defenders on the other side and saying, block that. I don't care how many guys are in there. I want to run the football this week. And, boy, it has paid off for them in this game.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, that play ended so fast, it's almost as if the quarterback handed it to the runner, and the tackler was there right away for a loss of yardage.
They'll come up now in the Wildcat package. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Brandon, there's no doubt the defense has to be excited after stacking up back-to-back running plays. But I still remember my old coaches saying, after you've had some success, you better be careful. They might have an answer for you. So make sure you watch your keys, play your techniques, and don't get overconfident.
Now this time, Manning will throw. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. It's a pickup of 13, but they're still a bit short, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
So a good kick there, and they wrap up the drive by putting 3 on the board.
And you know, let's face it, you're not always going to come away with 6. Defense in the NFL are just too good. But you've got to come away with something. And there, they get 3.
Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
To throw on 2nd down is Luck. Over the middle, Dorsett. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Colts in possession of the football to begin quarter number 2. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. Shift together here from the D-line. Here's Luck now on 2nd down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Derek Carrier, 45 yards. And the Colts are able to grow their lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Giants offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Manning now on 1st down. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
If you're running out route, it's likely you end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Now they try the right side here. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Well, we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
Throwing on first down is Manning. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. The first down screen pass, good for 5.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he stopped immediately there. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be third down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
They'll send Beckham alone to the left side. Now Manning. Hard throw, incomplete. Here's Brian Anger now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. This is taken around the 12. 31 yards on the punt there. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. Drake will start the drive on the ground. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up the defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
From the gun, here's Luck. And complete to Moncrief over the middle. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag. Because when you do, you just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. On first down, Drake. He finds some open field here. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And finally, he's taken down at the 18. Smart approach there, using the run to pick up the first. And that was a defensive setup they prepared for this week, knowing that keeping it on the ground was the best way to attack it.
And that means also that they're able to read them pretty well. All the things they prepared for when they get to the line of scrimmage, they see it in pre-snap recognition and know exactly how to attack based on their planning and preparation.
So they pick up the first down after the run, and now they approach for the fresh set. Now Carlos Hyde in the game. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
On 2nd down, it's Drake. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. A solid pickup at 13 sets them up 1st and goal.
Well, they're certainly running the ball pretty well on this drive. And all I remember as a secondary guy was if you're making a lot of tackles in a game, that's usually not good for your defense. You've got to figure out how to keep things in front of you because you know there's 3 levels. Defensive line, linebackers, and into the secondary.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Carlos Hyde taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Colts add on to their lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Pat McAfee to kick. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And New York set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set them up.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
Brief break in the action here. We'll come back on Super Bowl Sunday after this. So the offense has it 1st and 10. They come up at an offset eye. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
It's been a struggle this entire game trying to move the ball on the ground. But every now and then you find a little chink in the armor, and that type of run right there lets them know that they can't stop every single run for almost no gain.
Now they'll throw it with Manning. And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
Handoff for Drake. And a solid run down inside the 30. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Right back to Drake. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They come out here in the eye. First down, a run with Hyde. And he's going to lose. And now the Giants will stop play as they take a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. A little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11. On the give, this is Drake. And a short gain here. And now the Giants, they get the officials' attention and take another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. A nickel back added defensively as they look to stop this 3rd and 8. Throwing on 3rd down, Luck. Steps away to his left. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete.
Partner, how many times have you heard it? Pressure creates diamonds, right? But it also bursts pipes. And on that one, that's what they got. They got after him, and he was fortunate just to get rid of it.
Yeah, he just had to chuck it away. And McManus able to put it through, and that will stretch the lead up to 3 touchdowns now. It's a 21-point game. It's a little bit of time left here in the 2nd quarter, but they get the field goal near the end of the 1st half to expand that lead.
Yeah, that's got to feel good, but they can't let up. Now on the kickoff, they've got to make sure they don't give up a big return or big yardage to set up the other team for one last chance to score themselves.
New York set to take the field. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
They'll come out in the pistol. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he's hit and taken down. Eli sacked. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And they're going to go soft on the corners. And now here's a carry heading left. And some room to maneuver. And a cut to the sideline. There he goes left side. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the 1st half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
And with that carry, he's already over 100 yards here in the 1st half.
And, partner, you know exactly what he's saying to his teammates right now, right? Especially to the play caller.
Give me the ball.
Again, and again, and again. It's not that heavy, sir. I'll take it.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Giant offense now making their way back out onto the field. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the 2nd half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this is
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the 2nd half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39.
So much for halftime adjustments by the defense, because you know they had to talk about it. The entire 1st half, they struggled to contain it. And here he is coming out in the 2nd half and establishing the same tone. Still running the football with authority, still gaining big yardage. So I just figure in the offensive side, they said there is no adjustment. Until they slow us down, keep going at them, keep handing them the football.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
And there's a nice stop for the defense. They've had a tough time containing this guy all game long, but maybe they can build a little bit off of that play, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum. Yeah, every now and then you can actually tackle that guy.
Now Manning throwing on 2nd down. Throwing the slant pattern here complete. And 15 yards there on the catch and run.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
On 1st and 10, here's Manning. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
On On second down, here's Manning. The 20 to Shepard, complete over the middle. A very solid gain of 27.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain, and it's second down.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
The former Purdue Boilermaker, Raheem Mostert. He only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Seventh play of the drive forthcoming on 3rd and 8. Throwing is Manning on 3rd down. This will be caught at about the 6. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. So a little fortunate there because that one was definitely leaking right.
Without a doubt, maybe about the width of a football or so inside that right upright. But he got it to go.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you...
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Certainly not what this offense wants to see. Andrew Luck down and appears to be in some pain. We'll get an update when we come back to Miami. So a big development and something we saw last year, unfortunately. Andrew Luck out. And they'll hand things over to their backup quarterback and task him with preserving this lead. And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. Over the middle, Dorsett. And he's finally taken down, but not before getting across midfield and across the 45-yard line. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. And he's got some space here. The 20. And it's a huge return as he brings us all the way back down to the 15-yard line.
Well, there definitely was some juice on that pass. And while tight ends don't always have the same reputation for hands as wide receivers do, in this case, that ball was expected to be caught.
And New York set to take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Kendall Langford from his defensive end spot there for the tackle.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop. That guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Now Manning, and he'll be brought down by the Colts. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
And Parkey's kick is good. And that'll make this an 8-point game. So make it 3 field goals for him now, and this last one tightens things up a bit.
And I know that offense is on the sideline right about now, checking out the tablets and saying, man, we let a good chance slip away there. We've got to start finishing some of these drives.
And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And the Colts getting ready to go. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback has to slide and find open space to throw.
Damon Harrison, the one on the stop.
That was an example of excellent defense there. They stumped him. So now he brings up a third down situation. If I'm calling plays here, I make sure I put it in the hands of my quarterback and get it to a receiver real fast. I'm not running the ball here.
And some extras coming up on the line here, ready for the blitz. They'll try and run for it. This is Juszczyk. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Let's give credit to the defense. They got plenty of bodies to the point of attack and stumped the run. But I just wonder if the offensive line let down a little bit, knowing that the big guy was getting the ball, and they just expected him to pick up a first.
Now this is fielded in the end zone. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. The New York set to take the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick.
Again, we'll see the pistol here. And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll lose yardage on this one, back to the 13. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13. On 3rd and long, it's Manning. They're looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
And he gets this away, angled for the sideline with a lot behind it. Wow. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. that got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and give these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. They'll start the drive with Drake. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
See if they stay on the ground for second down. One receiver left is Hilton. Here's Thomas. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's third down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. So incomplete on second down. Now they'll look to convert here on third. Running, it's Drake. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. 7 yards on the carry there, but now they're staring at fourth down. Here's Pat McAfee now as he's on to punt for Indianapolis. This is fielded at the 27. 12 yards on the return that time. And that will come the offense as they take over. And New York set to take the field. Throwing on first down is Manning. Over the middle, it's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
Throwing is Manning. And this is Shepard on the catch. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. Manning now on first down. To Shepard, complete over the middle. And down inside the 15 he goes.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
And they'll run it here. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll be stopped up after only a couple of yards as he gets it down to the 5. They'll give it to him right up the gut. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be fourth down.
Don't forget knowing where the first down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front. And a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They had more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
If they're going to have a shot in this Super Bowl, they're going to need this one on 4th down. They come out here in the I. They come out with one back and 3 tight ends. And he'll give it here to his running back. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. And they're going to hurry back to the line now.
Well, they won't get the touchdown, but they'll get the next best thing as they're able to convert on 4th down, and they'll be left with a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
Into a mass of bodies, and I think they held him out. They did. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal.
They're right there at the 1. No gain, but don't let that stop you. Line back up and keep going at them. If I'm them, I'm thinking about going at it 4 straight times.
2nd and goal from the 1. They'll give it to him right up the gut. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
Well, the spotlight hit him once already tonight as he got into the end zone. He was trying to make it a double spotlight, wasn't he?
But credit the defense, bottling him up, not letting him get in for the 2nd score there. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Time for a break. We're back to perhaps crown a champion after this. And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. What a Super Bowl this has been, and the biggest play comes now. It's 4th down. Now Manning, gotta have this one, and he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Their big-bodied receiver, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Giants are a 2-point conversion away from tying this football game. One more hurdle here. They need the 2-point conversion to, for the moment, stay alive in these playoffs. Eli's going to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So just under 2 minutes to play, and this would figure to pretty much be your ball game right here. And this is going to be taken in by the Colts. And now looking at the clock here, they do have 2 timeouts, but even if they force a 3 and out, they're going to have very little time remaining.
So that means they've got to be aggressive and find a way to knock the ball free. They've got to come up with it because they can't just rely, as you noted, on using their timeouts and getting the ball back. They might not have any time to mount an attack, even if they do play it that way. Get the football. That's their mantra.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. He had a great read there from his free safety position. And, Charles, you know with those guys, it's all about their eyes. They have to be laser-focused.
Yeah, I had to fake my way through it when I was playing, but now I can see exactly what they're doing. And on that play, he obviously had no presence to feel like he's being pushed for a pass. And without that, that allowed him to get up to the line of scrimmage and hold him to no gain.
They come out here in the I. That one looks like he'll throw here. He goes underneath to Drake. And now the Giants, they get the officials' attention and take another timeout. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Completed pass on second down. Now it's third down as the defense looks for the stop. They'll run it now with Juszczyk. And he'll be taken down at the 34. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And that will push the lead up to 5. So they get the 3 here, but you wonder whether that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, you've now made it so they need a touchdown rather than a field goal to catch them. But you're right. If they'd gotten 6 out of that drive, this would be a much different game.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And New York set to take the field. They're down here in a one-score game. But the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late-game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Yeah, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Going to throw right side here, complete. It's a pickup of 19, and it'll give the Giants a first down.
Well, how about keeping your head about you in this situation? No more timeouts. Finds a way to get out of bounds. Now they can breathe a little bit as they contemplate what to do on the next down.
Back to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. And the offense moving quickly to the line.
And when you have a guy in the backfield who can catch the football, you don't just use him strictly for checkdowns or dump-offs. You make him part of the primary passing attack, because what you're trying to do is...
He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the fourth.
Wow. Wow. Brandon, that's climbing the hill. And not only climbing it, but finally getting to the top and over. What a comeback.
What a comeback indeed. I mean, Charles, that was a 3-score deficit at one point that they were facing.
And let's face it, many times teams in that situation, they pretty much pack it in for the game.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will not get there. He comes up short. And they're unable to push this lead to a field goal as it'll remain a one-point game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you've got a decision. Are you in field goal range, or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it. He'll look to throw, eluding the pressure right. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Now the ball comes loose, and the return stops at the 39-yard line. And New York set to take the field. 2 timeouts remaining defensively, but that shouldn't make much difference right here.
It really shouldn't, but a lot of coaches look at it similar to baseball with the intentional walk.
Always bringing in other sports.
Always, hey, listen, think about the intentional walk, right? What if one gets past the catcher? What if he uncorks a wild one and now you still have an opportunity? That's why they like to use them all the way through.
And the New York Football Giants are the toast of the National Football League. They are the Super Bowl champs. And to the Super Bowl champions, they etch their name forever in NFL immortality.
That's pretty phenomenal right there. It actually gave me chills just to hear you say that, because immortality forever and ever. When you look in the record books, you'll see this team, you'll see their picture, that your name will be a part of it. That's got to be an incredible feeling, because it's been a long journey to get there, and now they get a chance to enjoy it.
And they end this year just how everybody wants to end the year, holding the Lombardi Trophy. What a season for them. What a ride it's been for us as well here in the booth. For Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gunn. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next season right here on EA Sports.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. The Panthers were frustrated with last week's loss and are anxious to get back above 500 in today's game. It's the Ravens going up against the Panthers. So, for the call of this Week 11 matchup, let's hand it over to our commentary team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Larry, with a beautiful skyline towering just to the right of us, you get a look inside Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Tonight, we start Week 11 of the NFL season with a good one here between the Baltimore Ravens and the Carolina Panthers. They come out here in the eye. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. They tried to run the counter, just that the defense wasn't fooled.
And when they're not fooled, you see the end result, because what you're doing there, you mentioned the counter. You're using your offensive linemen sometimes to pull or move to influence the defensive front to go in that direction and create the space back in the other side and block it appropriately. But you're exactly right. Didn't move him. Sat there waiting for him and made the play.
And they get to Newton and take him down for the sack. C.J. Mosley coming hard that time. He's able to run him down for a loss of 12. I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. 3rd and long. It's Newton. He's going to go deep for Conley. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down. Now Jordan Berry on to kick this one away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Here's Jones. And now off to the races down the right side. Might have been one man away from 6 points. As it stands, it's a huge return. And it's the best possible spot to begin a drive. 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Now it's Ryan. Trying to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And the Panthers coming out now. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
And they'll get him down up past the 15. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely. I mean, size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat-out run. You put that whole package together, you like...
Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and it's picked up by the Ravens. And they're already in the red zone. The 18-yard line is where they take over. And a great spot to start this drive from here. Following the fumble, Ryan hit, and he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
Here's Newton now on second down. Going for the deep ball. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. Greg Olsen was the intended target, and it brings up fourth down.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. This is going to wind up a safety. Well, we thought these two defenses, they might come to play. One has already come to play here. A safety for the opening points of the game.
Brandon, let's file this play away because if it turns out to be a tight game, who knows? This could wind up being the difference. At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
Here come the Panthers now, set to take over on offense. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked so well.
Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
On second down, here's Newton. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll make it third down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now the Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on third down.
Could be a blitzer.
And the tight end Olsen, right side. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. To throw on second down is Newton. Catch made right side by Wilson. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. Fresh set of downs here. From the red zone now, Newton. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Give him a couple on the catch, it's 2nd and 8.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Now they'll run it on the taunts. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to make it 3rd down and 10. Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10.
There's so many things that go into playing the position of linebackers. Some of them are actually subtle. Doing the drill work that you do all the time in practice and carrying it over to the game. Get rid of blockers and get to the ball carrier, knock him down for a loss.
It'll be a gain of 4, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. And Parkey's kick is good. And that will give us the very rare scoreline of 5-0. So it's our first offensive points of the game so far, and it gives us a very rare scoreline. We don't see this one often, 5-0.
Yeah, it's been sort of a weird one to this point, hasn't it? But, hey, in this league, you take points any way you can get them.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody has that ability, they want them on their team.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. This offense can be flashy at times, and a big reason for that is Perryman.
I like the way you use the word big because that's exactly what Brashad Perryman is, a big receiver with a ton of speed. Runs so well, yet that strength downfield really confounds defensive backs. Is it okay if I tell you I played against his dad in college?
Well, I'm just impressed that you work confounds into the broadcast.
I'm impressed I'm still alive because I played against his dad in college.
And defensively, it's a nickel formation here on 3rd down and 9. On 3rd down, Ryan. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the former first-rounder, D. Milliner. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
With my good friend Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Panthers in possession of the football as we begin quarter number 2, but they face a 2nd and long to start things out. From the gun, here's Newton. Out to the right here to Wilson. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic and people wanting to put a little contact on him. Really well done.
Well, they get the completed pass, but still have more to go here on 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. They're able to locate Wilson. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle. So back-to-back plays here where he couldn't get anything on the ground. Now you face a 3rd and 10 and assume you're going to try to pass it, right?
I would think so because you've tried to run the ball, and really it didn't matter who got the ball in the play because there was no space to go. So I think you step back, throw the ball to try and pick up the 1st down.
Offense trying to avoid stalling out, facing a 3rd and 10. Back to throw, Newton. And incomplete here on third down.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested, and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
Here's Jordan Berry now as he's on to punt for Carolina. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Jones on the return. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination. They find a way to put it aside and continue to play their game.
Can he put it aside? Let's find out.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
But there's another example of why they haven't scored any points so far. I think it's time to abandon the run game, spread things out, and go to the air. It certainly can't be any worse than what they've done so far. It looks like, yes, it is 6 defensive backs on the field for Carolina.
They're going with a dime set. They'll come out in the pistol. Again, they'll run it with Mostert. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. And he gets it away, and it's a laser headed for the sidelines. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
On second down, here's Newton. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way. So he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it. Just move on to the next play.
Still 9 yards to go on third down. From the gun on third down, Newton. Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off here by Jimmy Smith. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off.
As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable, usually an excellent target, and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Ryan. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and just like that, it's third down.
I think we need to come up with a different name for this position. We keep calling it the fullback position. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a fullback, but we know this. Whoever's coming out of that spot is usually bigger and stronger, and they may not run away from people, but they'll run through them.
Yeah, able to shed tacklers. We saw it right there. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. So on 4th down, here's the Ravens Pro Bowl kicker, Justin Tucker, out onto the field. This one from 48 yards away. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So after the pick, they can't capitalize for 6, but they do get 3.
And I know in this situation, most of us want to focus on the offense. You know what side of the ball I played on. Let's give that defense a lot of credit. Taking it over in a sudden change situation and shutting them down.
Now onto the field, here come the Panthers. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. He's fumbled already once, Charles. I'm not going to say that that was in his mind there, but I'm sure that during some of these plays he is mindful of it.
And once you fumble the ball, you know what your team tells you and your coaching staff? Take care of it rest of the game. And it does get in your mind a little bit, and sometimes that slows down your effort in trying to get free from tacklers.
And the defenders know it too. They sniff that out, don't they?
Everybody wants to swarm the football. You know what the rule is. First guy hold up the runner. Everyone else try and get there and strip the ball free.
It's complete to Chris Conley. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or...
And now the rookie's free. Touchdown, Carolina. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Panthers add on to their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Now after the score, it's Parkey on to kick it away. Now Jones. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. Just, I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make check.
And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Corey Coleman hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Ravens are able to show off their quick strike ability. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Carolina getting set to take the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator in the